Hey, what's up, Kid Zone team? I want to walk you through what our registration plan is for this year for Trunk or Treat Candyjam. Now, I want to just be clear with this. There might be a few details that change along the way, but for the most part, these are the general guidelines and game plan of what we're going to be working for all of our operations and registration this year for Trunk or Treat. So there's going to be parts of this video that you'll recognize are very applicable to the specific positions you're in. There might be some parts and some details that you're like, that doesn't necessarily have to do with what I'm going to do. All of these details are important for us all to know together, just in case somebody forgets something or there's somebody new who has a question about something. It's really important that you pay attention to all of these details. And let me tell you why this whole thing is so important. What we're doing is creating a safe space together for every family and every kid to be able to come in and be able to engage in a brand new experience. This safety piece is so important because if people don't feel safe, they're not going to be open to some of the important messages we're going to be able to give them about Jesus and the hope and the life that they can have with him. So it's so important that this piece is really operating at its most effective level. And that's what the goal of this is, to make sure that you're feeling comfortable and confident as we go through all of these details so that anybody new and anybody even returning that's coming through our doors feels safe and feels comfortable in the whole thing of what we're going to do together. So there's going to be a lot of details. Some of it's going to be inserted on this video, and so you don't have to take notes as you're going through. On Planning Center, there's going to be a PDF that goes through a lot of these details. And for a lot of the specific positions that will be existing, there will be a specific piece of paper or document that's there for you, hard copy-wise, so that you can look through all the information needed, not feeling like you have to have everything memorized, including some of the process stuff, because there's a few things that are going to be slightly different. So what I want to do first is talk through some of the key areas that we have. Typically, whenever it comes to our operations for a normal Kids Zone weekend, we have our operations leader, and then we have some people that are specifically doing check-in and check-out. But for this specific weekend for Trunk or Treat, we have 4 key areas we want to focus in on. Now, in a little bit, I will show you the layout of the room of where all these specific spots are. But what I want to do first is just walk through each one of these areas and just tell you what they're going to be doing and why these are important roles. So the first one is our registration, our check-in and check-out people. So this is going to be a team of about 6 individuals, including the leader specifically overseeing that entire area. What you're going to be doing is helping families get registered or checked in and providing name tags for parents and kids as they're coming in and making sure that they have the correct name tags and labels whenever they leave. The second team that we have is our level up, check-in, check-out. This is not really a team, more individual who's doing this, but you're making sure that the level up room has the appropriate people going in and out and providing security specifically whenever those kids are leaving the room and any additional help that might be needed. The third team that we have is our Kids Zone crowd control. We're going to have a specific spot just for kids. We want to make sure that we are having a perimeter around them and making sure that that's still staying safe for them and making sure that we're still staying engaged with them. Also helping any kids that might need to go to the bathroom, making sure that we haven't had any adults go in there so that we're sending a kid into a potentially hazardous situation. We really want to make sure that we're creating a safe experience. So the Kids Zone crowd control piece is pivotal as we move forward with this. Our fourth one that we have is our family seating hosts and greeters. These people will be providing assistance for any new families. You'll see on the layout that we have in a bit that there's specific spots just for families to sit. Now, we want to have ideally a specific person assigned for each one of those sections to provide any help. There might be some new families that are having any questions or might need some assistance with something, and that's where your job would be important. In addition to that, we'd also be providing some directions, and I'll go over what some of those directions are in a bit, but that role is going to be really important in providing a very clear and easy experience for everybody who's coming in. So what I want to do now is walk you through some of the layouts that we have in the room so that you understand where specific things are going to be so that you can kind of just have a visual in your head ahead of time. So you'll see there's a key that kind of goes through what some of these spots are. Light blue being our level up, check-in, and check-out individual. And just to be clear on that, that individual is not actually checking in somebody. It's just making sure that they had their name tags and received them coming in. Yellow is either a teenager or an adult. Red is the operations leader or coordinator, and green is going to be adults only. Okay, so you'll see on this layout as we're looking through it that there's some specific spots. So we have a lobby that's got 5 specific stations for our check-in and check-out team. So stations 1 through 4 are for people who are brand new, who have not registered, who are not in our database. We want to make sure that we can capture all that information, and I'll go over exactly what that process looks like. Station 5 is for our regulars and people that have pre-registered. We're still determining some of that, but Station 5 is more of our fast pass lane that's going to be easy for our regular people who are typically there on a weekend and we know we have in our database. You'll see inside the gymnasium, there's a specific spot that says kids only seating. That's going to be about 80 seats. So we'll have 4 rows of 10, a boys side and a girls side. Then we'll also have a family and parent section. You'll see those 4 of those seats and a yellow dot corresponding to each one. Now the layout changes only slightly. The exit has typically in the past been back through the kids' own lobby, back through another door. For this specific event, that changes. There is a door right in between the stage and our video game station booth. So that's the specific spot where we'll be directing people. And that specific spot with checkout is going to be directed by Pastor Sarah on stage. So those details will be coming soon. But we'll have a few people that, as you can see, 2 individuals that are helping out with check-in will move over to that spot just to help out with the checkout piece there. But what I want to talk through now is our registration, our check-in, and check-out details. Specifically, if you're on that team, you're going to want to pay attention to this. And even if you're not, this is still important information that you'll want to know. So as I said before, stations 1 through 4 in the lobby are going to be for individuals who are brand new. And station 5 is going to be for our fast pass. So stations 1 through 4, just so you're familiar with what's going to be on that table, they will be numbered. So whoever our leader is who's out there in the lobby, they will be directing traffic specifically to one of those stations. So if your station's empty, somebody most likely will be coming over to it. On that station, you'll have a list of questions with answers that people might ask. The specific questions you'll want to go through with people that you'll want to be familiar and acclimated with. You'll also see you have a stack of handwritten name tags, as well as some type of tag that's going to be existing for our parents. We're still determining whether that's going to be a tag for them to write their names or just some type of a sticker signifying that they're an adult that's not necessarily cleared with some of our stuff, and we just want to be aware of that. So we'll have all of those things on the table, as well as a specific spot for individuals to register. And that specific spot is going to have a printed out QR code, which somebody can just take with their phone. And all that they're going to do is open up the camera app and not even have to take a picture of it, but as the camera is going over it, it should show up with a link to a site where they'll be able to go through and take care of that registration right there on site. Now, if that link doesn't work, right below that QR code will actually be the link to the spot where people are registering. Now, in the event that both of those fail, what you will also have on your table is a specific handwritten spot for people to be able to go through and fill out that information so that we can keep it and just give us a hard copy of it. So no matter what, we'll be able to capture that information. But those are all the things that you will be having on your table. So I want to talk you through the process now of what you're going to do as you have somebody come up to your table and some of the things that you can say. And again, you'll have this whole script on your table, so you don't have to feel the need to memorize it right now. But this is just important to get acclimated with. So I'm going to walk you through stations 1 through 4, the first prompt that you'll do. There's 2 prompts for each station. So the first prompt, you'll say, "Hi, welcome to our Candyjam Championship game. Everyone needs to get their ticket for the big game, and today they are completely free. You can scan the QR code here, which you'll have, or enter the website on your phone to get your tickets." Now, again, you'll have spots for people to capture that information, whether that's on the phone, somewhere else. But it's just important that we get that for multiple reasons. some of which are just very basic, that in the event of an emergency, we want to be able to contact these people and let them know about anything. But also very practically, we want to be able to care for anybody who comes into our space and help them get connected somewhere. So it's really important that we capture this information. So that's prompt 1 if you're at stations 1 through 4. Prompt 1 at station 5 if you're at the fast pass lane. You'll say, "Hi, welcome to our Candyjam championship game. Can I get your name to verify we have your ticket for the big game?" We want to make this feel like we're in like the ticket booth of like a sports arena, because it's going to be basketball themed. And we really want to make this really fun and just have a consistent theme as we're going through the whole thing. So this is some of the specific language we want to use. So as you're entering somebody's name, you'll have that information right there. You'll be able to capture it. And then stations 1 through 5, you'll have prompt number 2. So you'll say, "We're going to give you each a sticker just to show you have your tickets and are ready for the game." And then you'll say, "We have 2 tickets for you." So for kids, you'll have a specific handwritten name tag. It's a sticker, so half of it will be a sticker that goes on the kid. The other half will have a corresponding number that needs to go to the adult. So you want to make sure, okay, we have like the kid's name on here. This is great. And then you'll make sure you give the sticker to the adult. You're also going to give another sticker to an adult. Again, that sticker is not fully determined whether it will have their name on there or if it'll be some type of sticker signifying that it's some type of an adult. But that sticker will look different than the sticker that the child's getting. Now, in the event that anybody is really not feeling comfortable with that or is having some type of an issue with trying to provide that information or something like that, don't panic. Don't have any big issues with that. What you need to do in that situation specifically is say, "Okay, I hear you on this. Let me bring over our operations leader. They have some other information and they'll be able to help you figure out a next step for this that will be applicable." That'll be the next step. In the event that operations leader needs extra help, then myself or Pastor Sarah will step in. But that's how you can handle those situations, and we're really excited for how that's going to go. Now, our exit process, we're going to have all of our parents and all of our kids. They will all go through that same exit that I mentioned before. We're going to make sure that they have the same name tags. In the event that they don't have those name tags, our operations leader is going to be able to walk us through what the next step is there. But for the most part, we're just going to be matching up name tags. So whatever that code is that we give the parent that's on half of that name tag, it will be the corresponding one for the kid. We want to make sure that all of those are the same. We want to make sure that no kids are saying, "Oh, I know this family, I'm going to just jump in with them." No, we want to make sure that all those name tags are going to the correct people. We're also going to be seeing, additionally, on people's way out, there will be a little thing. It's a little link plaque. That's LINQ. With that plaque, if anybody wants to sign up for Upward and register for that while they're in line, you're more than welcome to do that, and encourage people to say, "Hey, game doesn't end here. We have our trunk or treat downstairs, but if you also want to sign up for Upward while you're in line, go for it." We don't need to pressure anybody to do that, but it's just some extra information we can add in there, just trying to build more excitement and just say, look at all the amazing things that we have that you can be a part of. So if you are doing stuff with Level Up, I want to talk you through a few things with that for a second. So again, you are not actually going to be filling out name tags for kids. They should be coming to you with a name tag. If they don't have a name tag, you're going to want to grab the operations leader in the room. Remember, there will be one in the gym and one in the lobby. We're going to want to make sure that you grab that person and be like, "Hey, they don't have a name tag. Can we just verify that we have this all sorted out?" So you'll make sure that the parents coming back over to that spot actually have a kid in that area, and you'll just help bring those kids out correctly. They won't be getting checked out at that station either. Everybody will get checked out at the same place, whether they are in the Level Up room in pre-K or whether they're in kindergarten through 5th grade. Everybody's getting checked out in the same spot. You will want to make sure that whenever kids are getting picked up, that they have the same code, but you're not taking that code. So that's pretty much everything for that spot. I do want to just say, as we're going through, it's important that like some of our language is really consistent throughout the whole thing. We want to make sure that we're all saying the same stuff of like, instead of saying like, "Oh, we have a kids service," we want to say we have a live show. You'll have a list as well of just some phrases that you can say, some phrases maybe not to say. We're not going to be super harsh with this, but really the whole goal of this is that it helps us create a really consistent experience for everybody. and really helps keep the magic alive for everybody of what type of world we're in and what type of stuff we're trying to do. You'll also see, as I mentioned before, you'll have a list of questions. For example, you might have some people asking what happens in the live show, how long does the live show last, when does the trunk or treat part start, all of this stuff. And the last thing that I do want to mention, just as for people who are going to be hosts in the room, and helping people navigate where to sit and where not to sit, where to sit and where not to sit. This is specifically on the kids only seating. Whenever families come in, we want to be really clear that there's a spot for kids to sit. There's a spot specifically for them. They can go and sit there as long as they've got a name tag on, which every kid should. If they don't, talk to your operations leader. But every kid that comes in with a name tag, they can sit in that spot. We want to make sure that we're clear with that. Kids don't have to sit in that spot. If they want to stay with their families, they're more than welcome to. But we have a spot specifically for them. Adults are not allowed to sit in that spot. If any adult's putting up a really difficult issue with it, you guessed it, talk to your operations leader about it. But we're not going to be allowing adults into that spot because that compromises the integrity and the safety of that kids only seating area. We'll have a very clear line defining exactly where that is, and that's why we want to create a perimeter there. But during the entire live show, we want to make sure that that's staying as a safe place and nobody else is trying to get in there. So we want to stay really focused and really safe with that and make sure that that's staying as a kids-only seating section. We want to provide as much direction and clarity with that as possible so that it's not vague for anybody walking through. And if you get the opportunity, even I'm jumping over sides here, if you're doing stuff with check-in and registration, if you get the opportunity to share that information, by all means go for it. If somebody's asking about it or where do we sit, where do we not sit, we don't want to have super long conversations out there, stalling things up, but we want to make sure that we're really clear on that. And I'm just spending some extra time on that because this is really just an important part of the safety of that room. So if you have any other questions or some things that might be missed, please reach out to myself or the operations leader whenever you arrive. We want to make sure that you're feeling comfortable and you're feeling confident. I know that some of these details might be a little bit different. It might be new, but these are really important things that can really make or break some of the experience. And we want to make sure that everybody's feeling comfortable with this so that we can create the best thing and give people such a good opportunity to get connected and even make a decision to follow Jesus. So I hope that you're feeling good with this, and I'm so excited to see what God's going to do through this entire event.